Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2000's Scary Movie, which was directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. I'm your co host, Alec.
I'm Eric, and with us again for the first time in like 4 to 5 years, Andrew Dimauro. Andrew, welcome back to the show.
Thanks very much for having me again.
Yeah, Andrew was on, I think, in 2021 for our Spring into Action Die Hard. So, very different
Yep.
movie, but thank you, dude. Yeah, really appreciate you coming back on.
Yeah, absolutely. I was running out of ideas of what to pick, and you said scary movie, and I'm like, bro, that's perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like, you know what? If you're not a huge horror movie fan, and I was like, what movies came out around that time that are like still in the genre that we haven't covered? And yeah, we grew up with Andrew. Like I met you, I think sixth grade, and
Yep.
this movie came out right before that.
Dr. Hardigan's class.
Dude, I was thinking about that. I know this is kind of like, messed up, but dude, we were together when we found out about 9/11.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know it's like messed up, but like I remember I found out in that class, Andrew, in Dr. Hardigan's class.
Did we though? Because I swear I was like, I remember everyone has the 9/11 story, like not even in Avon. They're like, yeah, my teacher wheeled in the chief and we watched the news. I don't remember doing that. Like I didn't, I'm not trying to like, I don't know, shut down what you just said, but I don't
No.
remember really finding out about it until I got home. And I would hear like stuff in the hallway, but yeah, I didn't really like see it until like I got home. So I'm the loser who found out about it at like 3 o'clock p.m. and everyone's like, oh, you didn't know?
I remember specifically being in the caf for lunch, and or our lunch was like 11, but
Uh,
I remember someone come up to me like, "Dude, we got hit by terrorists, and the Twin Towers are down." And then my experience was I was pulled into Mrs. Gans's class, which was my class next, and she walked us through everything and
wow.
she asked the class like, "Does anyone know what a terrorist is?" And it went from there. But like that's what I remember. And then I ended the night. I was at like a play date with. Do you remember Philip Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up at his house at the night, and they were just everyone was just distraught. And then I went home. I remember we had an early dismissal too. It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really think we could like process what was going on, to be honest with you. Like,
No.
I know, yeah,
We were 11. I mean, sorry to put a huge damper on this, but
Can we turn this into a 9/11 podcast all of a sudden?
yeah, sorry. All right. So let's rewind 1 year to 2000 when Scary Movie came out and comedy was, kind of in a rebirth. This was like American Pie and this and Not Another Teen Movie and Jane Silent Bob. All that stuff was coming out right around this time. So that was like a great time for comedies. Yeah. Do you remember, was there any favorite comedies around this time, Andrew, that you grew up and loved?
Well, it's really funny you just mentioned those movies and the changing of the times because I was thinking about that earlier today when I knew I was coming on. It's like I feel like it was a very transitional time in like movies because like first of all, I remember I'm pretty sure first time I saw this, I rented it on VHS
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I remember like this and American Pie were like the two big ones. We're like, we're this is about fifth grade for us, so you're kind of starting to explore more things like, girls and whatever. And I remember it was like if you saw a scary movie and an American Pie, it was like you were like cool. So, it's like I remember in the South Park movie when they found out they saw the Terrence and Phillip movie, like, whoa, you got to see it? What was
Yeah.
it like? Like I felt like that was Scary Movie. It was like you were kind of cool if you saw it. You're like, whoa, there was like nudity and sex jokes in it. Like, what was that like?
Dude, so true.
I felt that way about Waterboy. When Waterboy came out before this, like everyone in elementary school was talking about Waterboy, and I was like, I have to see this in theaters, and I finally did, but it was like 2 weeks after everyone else. But I remember Road Trip was a huge
Oh,
one. American Pie was raised on American Pie, unfortunately,
yep.
but Road Trip was a big one in the early 2000s. And just this movie, I saw it with my mom in theaters. God bless my mother.
Oh boy.
God bless my mother. She grabbed my hand the second the penis went through the ear and was like, "Oh my God, Eric, like, what are you having me watch?"
That's really late in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. But that was the first true full frontal scene. But I remember I was in this basketball camp called Slamma Jamma Basketball Camp. I was sweaty, didn't have deodorant on, obviously. I was disgusting. And then we went to this movie afterwards. And then my mom is the best mom in the world. You want to hear what else I dragged my mom to once in 2006?
Hills Have Eyes.
Midnight show of the Omen remake. And she took me because I was still too young to see it in theaters by myself because it was R. And she went with me. That's how good of a mom I have. And loved my mom for doing that.
So that's pretty epic that she took you to the theater.
It was June 6th, 2006. I still have the ticket stub somewhere. So it was like 666. Yeah, it was cool.
Taking it like not on the same level at all, but like my parents just like let me rent it, and they didn't like know what it was, and they're just like, yeah, okay, and I knew what it was, but they were just like, all right, like you grab the tape off the shelf and you just hand it to them like, this is what I want. Not nowhere near on the same level as seeing in the theater, but my parents were just like, yeah, okay, you can have it.
Yeah, dude. Back in the day, it was pretty easy to trick some parents. But I remember, Eric, it's funny you say the penis thing was what your mom dragged you out on. My mom let me see the second one, not the first one, because of the penis scene. She's like, I don't want you seeing that penis scene. So she was totally fine with everything that was in the second scary movie, but for some reason, the penis scene, she was like, you have to be like 12 to see that. So I was like, okay. I think they're both like the first two are both incredible. Like the third one's okay, and I never saw the fourth and fifth one, but like for spoof movies, I really think this and Not Another Teen Movie, they're like my favorites. I love these.
Yeah, and Roger Ebert even gave this movie a 3 out of 4 or 5 thumbs up or
Whoa.
whatever. He was like, "Yeah, it's good. It's not airplane good, but it's good," which says something. But there are scenes in this movie that are, I mean, say what you want about this movie, but the scene where she's running up the stairs and like
Mm,
the piano comes down and the bicycle and then her grandma, like that
yeah,
scene is just a classic, like straight out of the old 80s classic comedy movies. And that scene is really well done.
yeah.
Say what you want, but yeah.
For me, it was the scene where they're spoofing the Blair Witch Project and the snot is coming out of her
Oh,
nose.
so gross.
When I first saw that, I rewound it like 4 times. I was on the floor laughing.
Yeah, this movie, there are so many little moments that, they just stick with you forever. But there's honestly, rewatching it this time, there are two characters that are my new favorites that really stood out. It's the sheriff, the guy from Wayne's World, and who's just like smoking, and he's just like, "Don't bullshit a bullshitter, Cindy," like that stuff. That guy, I thought was so funny in this movie. But then also the dad, Cindy's dad, that character.
Yes.
Dude, I mean I know these are like pretty small bit characters, but they made the movie for me.
Don't forget to flush your stash right. You get all those, like, what do you say, like little bunnies on his fur face or whatever. Oh my God.
The scene where what's her name? Cindy? Stacy? Cindy?
Cindy, yeah.
Cindy, she drops the coffee mug and realizes Doofy's the killer, and she goes, Doofy, and the sheriff goes, shithead?
Yeah, yeah, that. And then when he's like asking Cindy to look at the pictures of him, he's just like, "What about this one?"
Yep.
She's like, "No," and he's like in a thong. And then
Yeah.
that was so, dude, he was just like incredible. I love the he's like, "What was she like in bed, Cindy?" And he's just like
Yeah.
smoking in the school. Like, I don't know, man.
The scene where they're like, "How you doing, sheriff?" And he's like, bloated, constipated, got a boil on my ass the size of a walnut. Same old thing.
Dude, his delivery was incredible, like every line. So yeah, so those two stood out to me. Obviously there's just so many funny moments throughout the whole movie, and we'll kind of go through the plot, but it's a comedy, it's there's no plot. It's just fun. But it's basically the biggest spoof of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Those are probably the two
Yeah.
biggest things, like story-wise.
It throws in a lot of other 90s films in general, but this started a revolution of these kind of films for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big time.
Not our teen movie to epic movie to date movie. Like there's a lot of bad ones, and this had like 4 different sequels, and the sixth one is coming out next year in 2026, which already picturing like old ass Michael Myers and crazy Art the Clown stuff. So they'll do a good job. I have a really good feeling about six.
And the Wayans brothers are coming back for that one.
Couldn't do it any other way. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into the plot, in a second. But I listened to Marlon Wayans, the guy who plays Shorty in this, on some podcast, and he was talking about how the Weinsteins are the reason why they got fucked over and they weren't able to do three, four, and five. And they all lost more money, but then the Wayans now that, the Weinsteins are done, they're probably going to be able to do the sixth one now. It's like what they've actually wanted to do, which is good.
That's crazy. So I've seen one, I've seen two. I want to say I've seen number three. I think that's the one with Charlie Sheen in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That one kind of sucked, but and it's like for me, honestly, like I know we're not talking about it, but like two was good because the classic the hand guy that like I hear that reference come up so many times. Like that's like timeless. But it's like I mean, I'm sure you guys are a huge movie buff. It's like I don't feel like a lot of movies like maybe Fast and the Furious survive like four, five, six, seven, eight. Like at that point you're like, dude, just stop.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, especially for comedies. I mean, I guess American Pie has gotten up there too with spin-offs.
That's true. I saw American, what is it, Reunion, and I was like, oh, it's like the fifth one. It's going to suck. And it was actually really good.
I know.
I agree. I thought that was good.
So there's a chance, but yeah, horror
Yeah.
and superhero movies seem to be the only ones that have like, 10 sequels and can actually pull it off.
Mhm.
But
Although, eating my own words, Halloween, there was a ton of them. And actually, I don't remember which one H2O is in line, but that's actually like my favorite one.
that's seven. Yeah.
That's kind of funny. So yeah, I guess I'm eating my own words, but you know what I mean.
Oh, you're talking to guys that watch like the
Yeah,
Amityville
man.
horror series, and there's like 13 of them. Like we watch shit.
We're deep.
But this movie, like, it's the first time I think I've definitely ever seen Anna Faris, and she was so good in this movie. And like, it obviously her career took off after this, but she is just so weird and offbeat. But like, I think she nails it. I think she's hilarious and like everything I've seen her in this. But this is the first. Have you guys seen her in anything before this?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think this was the first movie I saw her in. But that scene where she's running off randomly never clicked with me until later on in my life when that happened in I Know What You Did Last Summer, where she's talking and just runs off frantically, all weird.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, she's such a like a physical person.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's weird to say in that way, but yeah.
She reminds me of like a younger Molly Shannon. I've always kind of felt like that a little bit, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so it takes from Scream, and I know what you did last summer, obviously the Blair Witch, and like you were saying, Eric, just like a lot of stuff in the late 90s and the early 2000s.
The usual suspects at the end when he's
Yeah.
taking off the mustache and stuff. Like there's so many other things with we've like woven into this. But yeah.
Yeah. And the intro is pretty much like a just a remake of the Scream intro, but just with Cameron or Carmen Electra. And dude, I mean, this movie it just kicks off right from the gate. You're like, okay, this is so absurd and it is just hilarious. But Carmen Electra was huge at the time. And yeah, it's got the ghost face mask from Scream. So, I mean, there's
Yeah.
already recognition with that. And it looks like the same house. I don't think it is, but it looks very similar to the original Scream house
Yeah,
too.
they nailed it. Even to the popcorn on the oven, they nailed it. Like obviously the set design was perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. I didn't think of that.
And the best line is the Shaq line where it's just like,
Dude, I use that daily. The Kazam line. I use
yeah.
that daily. If you look at our podcast on Instagram, I say like it better not be Kazam or something like that. Like I always say Kazam.
I remember the scene where he stabs her and pulls out the implant, and I'm like 10 years old watching it, and I'm like, I think I know what that is. I'm pretty sure.
I had no idea what that is either.
Right, right. It was there's a lot of things you watch it years later that just I mean it's like that with every movie, but just a lot of stuff just like went over my head.
Oh,
And like the not to jumping too far ahead, but when they're interviewing Shorty, you're like, how close were you to Drew? He's like, real close until the roofies wore off. And I didn't know what that was. Like I didn't know what he was saying, you know?
dude, same thing. This movie, when I watched it this time, I was like, I think that's the most offensive line in the movie. Like now
Yeah.
watching it back, I'm like, oh my God, is we roofied her?
He's like, and then I pulled my tongue out of her ass and left. I think he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And all you know when you're 10 is like he said ass, haha, but you don't really know what he just said. He's like, I date raped her and was like doing my thing.
Yeah, it's pretty dark when you watch it, as an adult.
That was the 90s, early 2000s, but also the one line where it's like, white people are dead, we're getting the fuck out of here with the news crew.
Yeah.
That might be the hardest I laughed this time. Just like it goes from white news crew to white news crew to them, and then just they were like, we're getting the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was great. Sherry O'Terry as Gail Weatherstorm or whatever. She's playing the Courtney Cox character.
Gale Hailstorm. Yeah.
Yeah, she's so funny when, yeah, that person's like dancing. She's like, three teenagers have been killed. That's it. Four teenagers have been killed. And she shoots the guy behind her. Like, you remember when people used to do that back in the 2000s?
They still do.
Do they?
Yeah, yeah, to some extent.
Not as much, though. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was a thing back in the day.
I think even more in some ways with TikTok and all these people trying to do
Yeah,
stuff. People try to photobomb stuff all the time.
yeah, maybe you're right.
The Gale Hailstorm character. Like I don't know. You guys want to go through the plot from start to finish, or like I'm jumping around?
I mean, we can jump around.
How do you go through the plot? It's so many things at once. So it's Carmen Electra scene, and then the kids at high school, and they're all like 40 years old, pretty much, and they're acting as high schoolers, and they're all like, "Oh, who did it? I don't know." And then all of a sudden, that guy gets that picture in his locker of his micro penis. Remember?
That's so later.
I mean, it's a little later, I guess, but
Yeah.
what happens before that? They were reflect on killing that guy.
Yeah, they have the flashback, and it's like this the beat for beat scene from I Know You Did Last Summer, but just like
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah. He chucks the liquor bottle and hits the guy in the head, and they're like, "Well, shit. He may have some money. We already killed him. We might as well rob him."
Dude, the line where he just goes like, "It's a boot, we hit a shoe." It's like, "Where's the foot?" And he like yells
Yeah.
it. It was so funny. He's like, "My dad's gonna be so pissed off." He's running around. That guy was hilarious. And it's all about Cindy not wanting to give her boyfriend Bobby a blowjob. Like that's kind of like this through line throughout the movie, or just any sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, her joke is only PG-13, right? Is
Yeah.
Uh,
the idea of it.
Yeah, and she flashes her like jiggly man boobs at him. Yeah.
the scene where Gale Hailstorm, how she just messes with the cameraman Kenny so much, and his voice is just hilarious. Cindy like punches her in the face, and she's like, "All right, who copped a feel?" He's like, "Oh, it was me, Gale. I only touched the top of the breast. It was so juicy." And she's just like, "Shut up."
Dude, that and it's just like, you're stepping on my foot, fat fuck.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was dying when I first saw the movie when they were being chased. She's like, "Oh my God, Kenny! Can I move your fat ass?"
Yeah, because that's in Scream 1. The cameraman is overweight, but apparently he gained 20 pounds for that character because it said overweight cameraman.
That's
Yeah, so in Scream, it wasn't a fat actor. He got fat, and then the joke from this movie is like, okay, he's a fat guy. Like,
I didn't know that. That's good.
yeah, so a lot of really like, specific details.
I like when movies do that.
Oh yeah, especially spoof movies that like respect the material. Like this clearly did, which is nice.
Movies like where it's like a really like a throwaway joke where it's like if you know you know, but it's like if you don't get it, it's fine. But it's like I love when they do that. It's like only a few people like know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like this movie, there's probably stuff we're even missing, but like everything, like even the very end, like yeah, Eric, I'm sure you remember like Stu Macher, what's his name? Oh my God.
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard, where he's got a little bit of spit in his mouth and he's
Yeah,
just like, I'll be right back. And then in this movie, he's got so much spit when he's
yeah.
talking, just like the littlest things like that.
But I also thought that scene too, where he goes, "But wait, there's more." That wasn't in any Scream. I always thought it was, and Scary Movie kind of did that. But wait, there's more. I always love that line.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's I remember we talked about the Scream episode, Eric. It's like this movie, like,
Mandela affects you in like some weird way. Yeah.
yeah,
I rewatched that clip recently, and it's so minor, but just like not Shorty, who's the other guy, the
Ray.
one who Ray. The scene again, it's so random. It's not even supposed to be funny, but when he's stabbing the dude, and he's like, "All right, give me the knife," and I just love the way he says it. He's like, "Fuck out of here! You know what? He's stabbing me."
Yeah, dude. He is like I feel like the funniest character in the movie too. I mean, his scene with him and the other guy in the hallway when he's like, yo, man, does this shirt make me look gay? And he's like, nah, man. He's like, how about now? And he like flips it in.
I still do
Yeah.
that to this day. I do that to this day when I'm in a group of friends. Yeah.
My brother had to explain that to me. He's like, he wanted to look and be gay. Like that's, I'm like, oh, like I didn't get it when I was 10.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. Yeah, it's not for us. Like it's for
Yeah.
17-year-olds. But yeah, that was great. And I guess Doofy, that's another character that we get to meet who's making fun of like David Arquette.
I love how it took us like 15 minutes to even talk about Doofy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doofy.
Maybe that's good. There's so much good stuff.
They're doing Comic Cons with them now, what it's like a David Arquette, the guy who plays Doofy, like as a photo combo now, which is just so funny to me.
Well,
It's like get the guy who was the actual one and the spoof guy in a photo package. It's like, geez Louise.
You know what it feels like to me though? It feels like the Wayans brothers were making fun of David Arquette the way that Trey Parker and Matt Stone were making fun of Matt Damon in Team America.
I mean, if you look at Scream, Dewey is such a he's like what, 22 or something?
He's 25.
Yeah, he's the head of the town. He's the only one they have half the time. And it's so funny when like the news reporter comes on to him and he has that scene where he's like up climbing up the steps and he's like, I'm 25, you know? And she's like, cool. And like the scene where he just puts up his fingers, I'm this old, and it's just like 10, 10, like 5.5.
yeah.
It's so funny how they did it in this movie.
Yeah, the vacuum line is great.
That one, the don't disturb me when I'm cleaning my room.
What was the scene when he's like, you gotta come home. Mom says you gotta come home. And she's like, yeah, mom also told you to stop putting your dick in the vacuum cleaner.
Dude, it's so good. Like, yeah, Shannon Elizabeth, another like very funny character in this movie. Actually, really quick, this is something right when we meet Shannon Elizabeth, Brenda, she's talking about P. Diddy and one of his parties, which is kind of crazy.
What? With Harvey Weinstein included in the nutshell of
I
this? That's
know. It's a
insane.
little
Dude,
weird.
it's all going down as we're doing this podcast. Diddy is going down and Diddy don't did it.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
talking about a Diddy party in this movie. You're like, holy shit.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's 25 years old. Oh my God, he's so fucked.
Yeah. But I love that line when Brenda gets out and it's just like what is she like, oh no, she was hooking up with a backup dancer. It's like she don't respect herself. Like, at least security can get you backstage.
Who is that, Brenda, her character? She might be the unsung hero of this movie.
Yeah.
She's fucking hilarious.
Regina Hall. Yeah.
In the movie theater scene with like her talking, it's so funny, Alec. You were just talking about a bad movie experience, right? Recently with a bunch of kids that just would not shut up, right?
That was at a play. Yeah.
It was a play, it wasn't a movie. But what happened?
These kids just wouldn't stop. They were just talking the whole time, and I turned around and like yelled at them and looked like into their eyes and was like, "Shut up and get out to the lobby," sort of thing. And it was a school trip. I lost my shit. I really lost my shit. It was a play. It was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the scene with her getting stabbed in the theater instead of Ghostface doing it is like, yeah, that is warranted.
He sits there and just like kicks his feet up, and they're like, this is for Big Mama's house.
But it breaks the fourth wall though, because if you saw this in theaters, like people are cackling and talking and high and shit faced, and there's people ruining the experience. It's like, yeah, we should kill that guy.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like the funniest line I think in the entire movie is when she's on the phone in the movie theater and it's just like, I'm not doing nothing, just watching Shakespeare in Love. And like that, the way she says Shakespeare, like I think
Shakespeare,
about that like
Jesus.
weekly. Yeah, she's in I think the first four. She's like one of the only characters that's in all of them, basically.
She's even better in the second one, honestly.
She is. No, definitely is.
She is, yeah. She calls her out. She's like, no, all you stupid white folks in all these horror movies always say we should separate. No, that's how you get killed. We need to stick together.
Like, Cindy, that's a skeleton. And she like takes its head. She's so funny.
The second one, she's like hiding behind a pillar, and like somebody comes by. She's like, God damn it, why is she gonna bring the killer over to me? Like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wait, is she in the second one? Can you look this up real quick, Alec?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I mean, in the sixth one.
Oh, there's like no information on the sixth one yet.
There's no
I don't
information.
even think they have a Wikipedia. It says coming out in 2026 with the Wayans brothers, but there's no Wikipedia.
Well, it's make or break if you don't have her.
Yeah,
How did she come back in the second one if she died in the first one? I just realized that.
she does in all of them. I mean, they all
Who
do.
cares, Andrew? Who cares? I
Yeah,
don't
Cindy gets hit by a car.
I know, I'm just realizing this. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they don't give a shit, dude. But the only yeah, it's weird because like Shannon Elizabeth doesn't come back, but Shorty and Ray do, and then Bobby doesn't come back. So some characters don't, but yeah, Anna Faris you absolutely need. I mean, everybody that they brought back is great. You know, you don't really miss the people they didn't have, but I still like Shannon Elizabeth. I think she's great.
Yeah, I'm thinking how the
Yeah.
sixth one's gonna go. It has to have like an old Michael Myers in a wheelchair. I mean, there's so much they could do. There's so much they can do.
I mean, well, I guess they did the Saw movies, yeah, when 4 and 5 are coming out, but yeah, they'll definitely do slasher movies, I guess, again, because they've had like a resurgence.
Yeah, and it's a great time to come back because look at the horror movies that are coming out lately. Sinners,
Yeah.
everything. It's absolutely killing it. Horror movies are at a peak right now.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely touch on Sinners. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's cool because like this is the Wayans brothers. Like, Shorty and Ray are brothers in real life. It's directed by Keenan, their other brother. And these are the guys that did like Andrew, you used to love Major Payne. Remember Major Payne?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the same team.
It's a little annoying to be honest with you.
Oh, I thought you liked that.
Some of the one-liners that come out of it are good,
Don't just,
but
oh yeah, you loved it.
yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't think I can watch it anymore. It's cringe to me. I'll be honest with you.
The monster in the closet scene, come on, that's goat. That's as good as it gets.
I cannot, not to like take it off of on another subject. I can't help it like pull that shit apart. Like the scene where he pulls the pin on the grenade with his teeth. I'm like, that wouldn't happen in real life. It would rip your teeth out.
Of course.
And then I look at like the scene in Terminator 2 when he's shooting the grenade launcher. I'm like, that's so fucking fake. I can't help it.
Oh, you can't watch Terminator 2 the same way, Andrew. Oh, that hurts.
I can. I pick it apart.
You pick it apart. Yeah. I mean, you can pick any movie apart.
Yeah, like if you were a car guy and you watched like the Fast and the Furious, you'd be like, that's fucking bullshit. Like I'm sure.
How about this? How about in Boondock Saints when they walk in and they're shooting all these crazy guns with two hands like sideways? It's like that's not how guns work. Period. Like it's not physics wise. Like you don't just hold a gun and just like shoot it like it's candy.
Well, I mean, like in Wanted, I've always wanted to curve a bullet. So
Movies are an escape. They're supposed to be stupid, but
right.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. And this one is especially stupid.
So I have a big thing about this movie. I've been waiting to bring it up, and it's super embarrassing. I'm gonna apologize now. So the was up scene, the famous scene, when they're
yeah,
calling each other.
yeah.
I'm so embarrassed to say this. I swear to God, only like last year did I find out that that was like a Super Bowl commercial. I'm not joking. So I saw it on one of those, those Instagram pages that are like 90s nostalgia, and they play like commercials and stuff from our, growing up. You ever seen those? They played the original one. They're like, "What's up, B? What you doing? Sitting, watching a game, drinking a bud." I'm like, "Oh, that was a real thing." I mean, I didn't know. I mean, it's so embarrassing, but yeah, I didn't know that.
I appreciate your honesty, but you should have known that one.
Was it a Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah, it's Bud Light, and they did Dilly Dilly like 10 years ago. Remember Dilly Dilly? Dilly Dilly.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know that one, but I mean, when this movie came out, I didn't care about sports, at all. So
Maybe they'll do a Dilly Dilly spoof in six. Who knows? But there was a time when we were young enough where it's like, what was the original one, and not knowing what it was. So Andrew, I feel for you. I feel for you.
there's a scene in How I Met Your Mother, I'm pretty sure, where it's like I don't remember what they were talking about. Like, let's just say it was like, yeah, how long ago were you dating that guy? It's like, well, it was back when everyone was still saying "what's up," and they're like, oh God, yeah, that's oof.
Yeah, so like early
Yeah.
2000s. Well, Eric, this movie did pretty well. I think you might want to talk about the stats.
So this movie came out July 7th, 2000, in the midst of the summer. Its runtime is an hour 28 minutes, not even an hour and a half. Its budget was 19 million. feels right, and it made 278 million. Its Rotten Critics scores a 51, and its Rotten Audience scores a 43. So this movie came and conquered, honestly.
Yeah, and they made a sequel within a year. So they're like, all right, like immediately we're doing a sequel. And I think the second one is just as good, but a lot of people think it's not. But I love the second one.
No doubt, no doubt. I think the second one's on par with the first, honestly.
Yeah, because the second one they touch upon ghost movies. This one is more slashers, so it's just like a different subgenre of horror.
But also the cast, they brought in Tim Curry in the second one. It's like, damn.
Yeah, and David Cross.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right.
insane what they were able to accomplish, but also the riffraff character, the guy with the hand,
Hmm.
like, let me, like, that's it, to take that character and, like, from the 70s and turn him into that, and it's so funny.
No, they nailed it. We don't even talk about the beauty pageant scene either. That scene is so good, where they think she's doing a monologue and then she's watching her boyfriend get murdered.
Oh, I love the scene when what's the character's name? The boyfriend, the guy with the small dick.
Greg.
Greg. I like the scene when he's like, "Hey, show him how you do the Baywatch," and he like jogs in place, and then he like makes hand motions like her boobs are bouncing. He's like, "It's great."
Yeah, dude, that scene was just like I was tapping that last night. It's like, woo, that's my girlfriend. It's like mine too, and it's, it's just
He's like, "Hey, kiss my ass."
yeah. And then you got that one who's like Miss Thang, and she's just got like her pubic hair is like braided and
Yes,
coming out.
it's like hair everywhere. I remember that.
Oh God. Yeah, no, I mean there are so many jokes I'm sure we're missing, but like I don't know. So there are some lines that will live forever in my mind from this movie. And yeah, it's one of my favorite comedies, honestly. It's very offensive, it's very, politically incorrect, all those things, but if you like horror movies, you have to see this. It's the best spoof horror film I think that's ever been made.
One of the originals, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the only other spoof movie that I'd seen really before this was like Spaceballs, and Airplane, but
Yeah.
I never saw Hot Shots, I don't know. I love horror so much, so to see that spoofed, I was like, ooh, I like that.
Hot Shots is too over the top,
Mm.
in my opinion. It's like there's scenes that are funny, but like there's like a scene where they're making fun of Rambo and Charlie Sheen's like shooting the machine gun, and then the camera pans over and the pile of like spent casings is like over his head, and you're just like, okay, that's kind of fucking stupid. But yeah, with like Airplane and Spaceball, like they were good, but like I feel like there's a big gap between like those movies and this one. This is like maybe we relate to it more because this is like our coming of youth, like fifth grade time frame. But yeah,
No, it's a great one, and yeah, definitely if you haven't seen these movies, the first two incredible, and then it's a steady downhill decline, but hopefully 2026 we'll get the new one, and hopefully it'll be good, so we'll see. But do you guys have any last minute thoughts on Scary Movie before we wrap up here?
No, just this movie came and did what it needed to do to spawn the 10-year, 15-year parody of movies, and it crushed it. So that's all I have to say, really. And even Roger Ebert giving it 3 out of 5 stars or whatever he does, it's pretty incredible. So yeah, got to give this movie the kudos it deserves.
Mm.
yeah, I feel like you can talk to anybody our age and mention scary movie, and somebody will always just be like, "Oh yeah, that one," even if they don't like are super enthusiastic about it. I mean, it's in the memory somewhere.
No, it's a great one. I also love the woman that gets killed in the garage, and she's just like as she's going to go to the door, she's like, "Don't kill me. I'm just a day player." She just says that, which is like an actress that works for one day. And it was just like
Oh,
just a very funny like little like I don't know industry inside joke. But you're also like, why is she getting killed? Like, who is this character? She's the only person we don't know that's randomly getting murdered. So I just love that like I'm a day player. Like, don't do this.
that's so funny. You just told me something new.
Can't forget the garage door scene either, with the heavier set woman getting stuck in the garage. It's just like,
That's what this
I,
is.
I literally just said that.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
no, but like, how do I expand upon it? It's just like, even if you're not heavy set, the garage wouldn't go up. It's just crazy to me.
It is funny as hell though when the thing is like smoking and he's just like, oh God, and he's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, he's funny. I mean, I don't know. I love the voice. I love all that. And yeah, it's a good movie. It's fun. It ends on a kind of
Yeah.
a yeah, the usual suspect spoof, and then Cindy getting hit by a car, and then it's just like, yep. Oh, and then we get Shorty like doing that scene from I think Scream 2, where like Jamie Kennedy was talking into the screen or into the camera, and he's like, if I got killed, this is what you have to do. But he's talking about how to rob a store. Remember that during the credits?
Yeah, that was another scene when I was a kid. I rewound it like 4 times. Like, this is so funny. I didn't expect the cashier to pull out a gun. He just pulls out a gun. He's like, "Come back here, you motherfuckers!"
Yeah. So good. I love that. Also, when I was a kid, I had no idea when Shorty pulls up when they just ran over the guy and he's just like, "Ray, what's up? Y'all need jumper cables?" I thought he was just saying that randomly. I didn't know he was saying that because he thought their car was messed up. I thought he was just saying that like for no reason. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like Eric was saying, and that's another thing. I didn't know what it was, and he goes, "Yo, son, y'all need jumper cables?" He's like, "Nah, man, we cool." He's like, "Oh, that's good because I left my roach clip at home." So he's using the jumper cables, and I didn't know what a roach clip was.
No.
No one did when they're 11 years old.
No, but
No.
now it's funny like looking back, and you pick up all these things like later on.
Yeah, I just literally thought he was just like asking him if he just wanted jumper cables for no reason. I don't know. My brain was dumb at 10, I guess.
Hey, yeah.
Well, Eric, is it that time to spin the wheel?
All right, we're spinning the wheel. Spinning. Terrifier 3. Oh boy, I'm not ready for this.
Honestly, Eric, if you don't want to do this one, I can just do it with Andy because it's super intense.
I don't want to get sick, but I'll plan on doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk off the air, but yeah, this is a Andrew, have you seen these movies, Terrifier? Have you seen these?
Is it super gory?
It's the clown, the killer clown who's yeah, it's insanely gory. Have you seen these?
Dude, I can't watch those, man. Those are just, is it, like the movies that are just, I don't know if this one is, but like, the ones that are like just gory fake blood, but like 80s style. I'm just like, man, I can't watch these, man. It's nuts.
No, this is like Saw with like a clown, kind of.
Oh, man.
It's brutal. Eric watched the first one and you didn't do the second one with us.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, but I get it. I get it.
We'll talk. We'll
We'll
talk. We'll
talk, we'll
talk.
talk,
But
yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that stuff, man. It's just, oh my God, it's a lot.
nah, me too. Me too. Well, Andrew, thank you, dude, for joining us, for this return to the past and this comedy horror movie. We don't do these too often, so thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't really know as many horror movies as you guys, but if you change topics to like sci-fi or action adventure, please, I'd love to come back.
You know what, Andrew? We'll do the Terminator, the first one. Would you want to do
Oh,
that one?
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
All right, yeah, because we haven't done that, and that one's more horror. I feel like it's like sci-fi action horror, but yeah. All right, sick. We'll pencil you in for that one then.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Scary Movie, and we'll see you next week with Terrifier 3.
Woo!